Boom! There he is, everybody. Hey! Oh, they're loving you, Nick. They're loving you. Is that like crazy loud in your ears?
No, it's good. It's
Oh, okay,
good.
good,
It's
good, good.
perfect. I like the louder that is, the better, because I haven't actually heard that in a year now. The
Oh,
last time I heard it was March of last year.
wow. How is that affecting you? I mean, how is that?
Deeply and terribly.
Well, I mean, especially like, I know that you probably don't do this for the adulation, but it helps. I mean, like, how's it been for you to like be away from the stage like this? Because from what I gather, it looks like you look like you're one of those young dudes who just caught on real quick to the guitar and singing, and and you just took off and you just kept going. And you've been doing it for a long time, and you look so freaking young. You look like you're like 22 or something. I have
Well,
no.
geez, man.
You
Thanks.
look. I swear to God, if you didn't have that beard, I would think that you were like 18. No offense or anything. I mean, you just.
No.
I mean, you're a handsome devil, you. But I'm curious from someone who has been doing it for so long, and then just to be cut off from that. What was that experience like for you?
Um, so I deal with my issues through music, and anybody that is a performer understands how weird it is to get up and sing for the approval of strangers. Like that's
Yeah.
just
It's
it's a
so
strange
true.
business that we're in. But man, I wasn't ready at all. We were actually we were on tour, and we were 2 days out from playing our first show at Berklee College of Music in
Oh,
Boston.
and
We
awesome.
were it was a big deal. We were going to be playing. We had this awesome artist opening up for us, and we had promoted it all throughout the city and everything. And I was really looking forward to it. And Berkeley was, along with Harvard, they were the first two colleges that were like, everybody go home. They didn't even play, man. They didn't say stay in the dorms. They said, everybody go home.
Everybody home.
Everything is canceled.
Wow.
Everything is canceled. And we were sitting in New York City, up on a rooftop with some buddies at a party. And I got an email, and I was just like, what the hell? And I showed it to my band, and they were, we were just stranded, man. So
Ugh.
we kind of hobbled our way back to Memphis, played a couple of shows, but it felt really weird,
Yeah.
because it felt like people knew what was happening,
Hmm.
and people were going out in open rebellion even then
Yeah.
of this, scare at the time. That's what everybody was calling it, this like
Right.
a scare. It wasn't even a pandemic yet. It was a scare.
Yeah.
It's weird.
No, no, it is weird. It is weird. And if anybody has any questions for our guests, I know there's some new people in here. So if you have any questions for the guests, please do drop them in use your fresh bars or the channel points. They're only one channel point to ask a question, so I'm sure you can afford it. But yeah, please do. If you have questions for Nick, drop them with the channel points. It just makes it easier for me to keep track of them. So
Yeah, Chad, I see you. I'm watching you. So
he sees you. Nick sees you.
so we ready. We ready.
We're ready for it. No, that is a weird thing. How did you personally take it? Like after you realized what was going on and your schedule started to become empty. What was that process like for you?
You just have to reevaluate everything that you have sort of leaned upon. Our entire industry is based on congregating and people coming together. So when that gets removed, what do you do? How do you survive? And the first thing, I had done some live streams before, with one of my the agencies that I work with. I had done a charity live stream thing, and of course that was with my phone and my Bluetooth speaker. And so I was like, okay, well, what does this look like? How do we move forward? If we can't congregate, what do we do? And my wife saw that I was kind of down and depressed, and she was like, you know what we should do? We should do a Facebook Live TV show where I cook dinner and you sing just like you do. Like, just bring your guitar in the kitchen and you sing, and we'll hang out with everybody, and we'll call it Cooking and Crooning. And I was like, there we go. And it, like, my obsession with cameras and OBS and just streaming in general was born from
Mm-hmm.
that. And then I started watching streamers on Twitch, and that led into me being like, man, I want to start from scratch somewhere,
Yeah.
and Twitch was like the perfect spot.
That I started watching some of those episodes. I love it does seem like that was like something for you to focus on, because like not only did you guys shoot the content itself, but you made like an intro, like you made
Yeah.
graphics, you made a theme song with like a
Yep.
B3 in it. So like
Yep.
it was a good song, it was a good solid song, theme song. So like that idea of sort of distracting yourself and putting yourself into a project, whether just like that alone is what helped me get through it too. That idea of sort of shifting perspectives, because in those first days, our we're all our gigs are gone, tours are off, everything's done. It's like, oh, okay, so now what? Who am I now? And luckily, I've had this podcast for like 7 years now. So like, I was like, well, I guess now is the time to sort of build this out. So I started working on my website and like making things look nice, and that's what sort of led into Twitch as well. In those first, so how did the streams on Facebook go? Just in those opening days.
Man, everybody and their mom was streaming, but it was everybody and their mom was also watching Facebook
Right.
streams. So like we had tons of viewers on there, and it was a really good vibe because people were in they needed something that looked normal.
Yeah.
And I guess me and my wife in the kitchen, making fun of each other, and her cooking and making good food and me singing, it just sort of like it it brought me back to where I needed to be creative again.
Yeah.
Um, and it, yeah, at that point it was, God, man, that was probably like April, I
Mm.
think that we started doing that. Yeah, because after March, there was that week and a half where everybody was like, "Hey, we don't have to go to work anymore. Like this is going to be amazing." And
Right.
then reality hit,
Yeah.
and we were all like, "Okay, this is not fun anymore. This is not fun."
Yeah. Yeah, it's not fun, and it wasn't funny anymore, except for the memes. Those memes in the first days of the pandemic were fucking amazing. Those memes were amazing. The internet knows how to show out.
Oh yeah.
The Facebook thing, it's funny because me and my wife did a similar thing. Is we did something called Quarantine Sundays, where we played some songs and played games and like did some fun stuff on Facebook. Um, until we found out about Twitch. And then what we were noticing too in those beginning days were like all of our musician friends were all on Facebook and everybody was doing it. And for the most part, a lot of people were paying rent off Facebook streams. I know a lot of my friends were like really doing well off tips and stuff like that. Did you guys do okay in that department as well?
Yeah, and luckily Lena and I we're very diverse in the
Mm.
things that we do outside, like outside of what people see on
Right.
social media. So we were completely fine as far as that was concerned.
Mm.
Um, and honestly, what cooking and crooning ended up, what we did, and I think we started this like the second week or something, because we did it. We started doing it twice a week, and then we went to once a week. And then, but yeah, like the second time we did it, we just started raising money for other causes. So I mean, we raised money for Beirut, we raised money
Mm.
for No Kid Hungry, we raised money for a couple of theaters and venues here in town. Um, we just wanted it to be a place of positivity
Mm.
and a place where people that felt sort of helpless at the time could feel like they were making a difference in some way.
Right, right. Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. And that you guys were in that position where you could raise money for people who really needed it. And that's beautiful. It's beautiful to be in that position, and how lucky. We got a question from Jesse Breakpoint, and that's what was your 30-day challenge all about?
That's my dude, Jesse. So after we started cooking and crooning, we went into, I was looking for something new, man. I was looking for a place I could start over that wasn't Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, that didn't have some sort of idea of what I was. And so I started watching gamers on Twitch, and I started watching what they were doing and how there was this like wonderful, like very unique to Twitch interaction between the streamer and the chat. there's more than just talking,
Mm-hmm.
there's real interaction. And so, yeah, I decided to stream on Twitch, and I knew that I needed something to jump off of, instead of just like turning on the camera and seeing what happened,
Right.
which is, essentially what we all do every time.
Right.
But I wanted to make sure that I had something that was a purpose, So I started off Twitch with something called the 30-day challenge. And what that was I took samples. I got samples from all over the country, and a few from outside of the country, from friends of mine, musicians, keyboards, bass, vocals, drums, people beating on, the table, that like whatever they wanted to send in. I got 40 or 50 of them. And I
Mhm.
went through and I chose samples, and once a day for every single day for 30 days, I streamed for between 4 and 5 hours and wrote a new song every single day.
Whoa.
And it was intense, man. It was really intense. And actually, I ended up going for 45 days straight,
Oh.
except for Blackout Tuesday.
Oh, okay. And then you stayed off on Blackout Tuesday?
We stayed off on Blackout Tuesday, and then I think I went like 15 more days, or it was whatever, 10 more days. And then I went on a little vacation after that. And then I kind of went to 4 or 5 days a week instead.
Mm.
But for me, man, having to flex my writing muscle and forcing myself to use Ableton, which was new to me,
Mm.
um, and being on Twitch and interacting and like figuring out how to do what I was doing and amassing, Stream Deck and like all the things that you need to make it happen. It was an obsession that I needed.
Yeah.
And so Twitch is like, has saved my life, man.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding.
no, I know. I hear it a lot. I hear it a lot. I mean, tell me, how did it save your life?
It kept me from falling into my mind.
Yeah.
It gave me somebody to talk to when my wife was at work, and I couldn't just bother my band all day long. Like I couldn't just, be sending them stuff with with no purpose in mind. I have to have pressure there. And so to have the chat there with me being like, Nick, that sounds like garbage, or like here's a lyric or something you can use. Having that pressure is really necessary for me to write. It's the same pressure that I feel when I'm on stage. It's a little different, but it's that same pressure to perform that I
Yeah.
feel like I have to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you from a big family or a little family?
Uh, I don't know, medium. I'm a pretty medium person in all honesty. Like outside of the shows and social media, I'm pretty medium, man. Like
I'm me. I'm
I've got a
medium.
younger sister. I've got my dad. It was an English teacher for 30 years. My mom's a physical therapist, but my mom plays bass and piano. And my
Nice.
grandfather was a preacher, and my grandmother was a teacher, and they both had two kids. So it's a very nuclear type situation, kind
Yeah.
of like if the US Census had an average, we were it. Like,
Hmm.
yeah. So
You.
nothing exciting there except for, um, just that I don't know. I had a perfectly normal childhood. I feel like people come on here and they're like, I have some crazy story
Hmm.
to tell. And
No.
my crazy story is the people that I'm surrounded by,
Hmm.
because the band and the musical family that I've made, they're the ones that inspire me. Like that's the way that I keep my head on my shoulders, is having a band that'll turn around and be like, man, whatever, that like they'll check the shit out of me. So like,
Yeah.
can we curse on here? Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, we all keep each other grounded,
Yeah.
and they're the ones I try to tell their stories. I try to make it to where there are they have opportunities, and I try to
Mm.
make it to where this is a showcase of, it's not just me out in front,
Mm.
doing my thing. Like they could play me under the table any day. Like that, most of them could sing me under the table any day. So it's about sharing
Yeah.
and like us being together as a family.
Yeah, I feel you though. I feel you on that that pressure of performance as a motivator is just that. I was just like wondering if you were like the youngest of like a big family or something, you know, because like a lot of times youngest
Yeah.
have to like look at me, look at me, look at me. But you know, by the way, I don't know about if people come on here telling their messed up stories, but I mean, sometimes we do hear about messed up stories, but that's not what I'm trying to do. In any case, I appreciate you, you know, telling us what you have, but that pressure to perform and to that shit motivates the hell out of me because otherwise I feel like I'm not really. I don't really feel like doing anything. Like like I don't. It's weird. It's like if I don't have that pressure on me, it's like I'll just sit there and watch TV, which is so boring. But I don't know what are those moments like when you aren't motivated to make or to, you know, perform?
That's a really good question, bro. Was I um they're pretty dark,
Mm.
honestly. You know, I like I grew up with a great family, and every family has its issues and all that. And um we all decide to perform for different reasons. So the moments where I feel unmotivated are uh less than they used to be.
Mm.
But because I have something I have people that I can talk to, you know,
Yeah.
like I try to make myself busy. And my wife points this out to me all the time. She's like, you make plans to make plans. And it's like an obsession that I have,
Yeah.
where I have to, at the end of the day, I want to go out and do stuff. And she wants to sit at home, and she's like, can we just watch Downton Abbey or something like
Yeah.
that? You know, can we just chill and
Right.
watch? Can we please just Netflix and actually chill? You know, and
Right.
I'm like, but you know, Daryl and Peanut are coming over and we're gonna stream for 5 hours, and she's like, okay, cool. You
All
know,
right. Well, I guess
it's
I'll see
it's
you
not
tomorrow.
exactly. You sound like you know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Um,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah.
Married for 10
It's
years.
nice, man, nice. But you have to push past them. You don't have a choice. Those
Mm.
moments, if there's anybody in chat that is a creative that finds yourself in a place where you feel unmotivated, the best thing that you can do is just stand up and like do some jumping jacks. And you know, as someone who's dealt with depression before and anxiety, it's just the first step is just moving. Like
Mm.
that's you just have to move, and then you move another step, and then you move another step, and then before you know it, you look back and you've gone 150 steps, and you know you're sitting with your guitar, and so there you're at the next point, and then you write the first words, and then you just keep pushing. That's all that it's about, man. It's just pushing for me.
Yeah, yeah, me too, man. Me too, because I have that same thing where it's like if I'm just sitting there and I'm not motivated to do anything, that means that there's a problem. There's a situation that needs to be attended to, because it is like I do busy myself and I do and I will go out of my way to dive in deep into some work just to actually just escape from what I'm thinking, just because my own thoughts can be poisonous to myself. So I will go
Yes.
out of my way to shift focus. Like like as soon as I notice something is going on, because you gotta. That's the problem is like you gotta notice when this stuff is starting to happen, or else you get sucked in. So as soon as things start, you know, soon as the red flag goes up, it's just like, wait, what's going on? Why is this? What? Okay, let's take a second. Let's think about this. And then you know, I love that. I love that you said. I love that you said get up and start moving. And that's what I tell people too. It's like if you feel unmotivated to do anything in life, is get up and start fucking moving your shit. Because when you sit, you're stagnant and you're I just feel like your blood thickens. Like that's not scientific at all. You know, there's no science behind this, but I just feel like, you know, your arteries are hardening and like it all matters. Your mind and your body, they're all connected.
Are
And
you okay? You sound like you've been to the doctor recently.
dude, Besides my palms being sweaty, I'm pretty decent. I'm pretty okay. I do have some stomach stuff that just popped up over holidays. That's kind of weird, but anyways, this is not about my stomach. This is about Nick Black. I thought this was a good question because I had the same thought. It was like, what's gonna happen with all those songs from the challenge?
Oh, dude.
And
I
that's
think
from
yeah,
Conios.
I saw it. Conios, my dude.
My dude.
That's a good question. So we are going to release Twitch Volume Number 1
Hey.
in March, and I'm in the yeah, bro. Hype beast. No, we're in the midst
Thank you for
of
those biddies.
yeah, dude. Behind that suit. Thank
Behind
you
the
for the
suit,
biddies,
and
dude.
welcome. Thank you for being here.
It is yeah. We'll be releasing the first album in March, and then after that, we'll probably do a volume 2. And right now, honestly, man, and I can't believe that I'm saying this. We're on song 96.
Whoa.
This isn't just like sitting down for 15 minutes working on a song. This is like that's the number of streams that I've produced a song.
Whoa. That's
So
crazy.
I can't even my feeble human brain does not have the memory capacity to be like, now what happened on that day? What was I doing in the chat? What made me right? Like I can't even do that. There's video evidence. Like I could pull up the VOD, but aside from that, man, I'm so happy that we've put that I've been able to work with people in chat and to get samples from people. And I think the coolest thing, man, was the first sample that I got from somebody who wasn't a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Like, because I can reach out to my guys and be like, hey, send me you playing bass, and I'll make a sample out of that. And somebody just sent me something over Discord and was like, hey, make something out of this. And it was a hang drum kind of situation,
Mhm.
like this really cool, like mix between a djembe and a hang drum. And it ended up being one of my favorite songs, and it's going to be on the album, and it's called Priceless.
Nice.
And it's like straight Pharrell Williams, Justin Timberlake kind of vibes.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And that's really tight. Yeah, I love that. I love that you're taking it. Your band seems really tight knit. And do you work with a lot of the same? I mean, I obviously you work with a lot of the same guys, but you have kind of a bigger band, and I imagine that you probably when you go on the road that you probably reduce it a little bit. But then when you're
Yeah.
at home, you have your horns and you have all the bells and whistles, and you can kind of go out and stuff. Have you kind of worked with the same core members for a long time, or do you kind of find that you're switching out a lot?
No, man, I've worked with the same guys for let's see, 12 years now. 12 years, yeah. Yeah, since I was like 18, 19.
Mm.
So it's been, there's been some personnel changes that, and that kind of stuff, that stuff just happens. People
Right.
grow and they change and move on, and like you have to make tough decisions. But yeah, Peanut I've been with since I was 19. Daryl I've been with since I was probably like 21, 22, something like that. And I mean, those are the guys that you see
Mhm.
here on Twitch. But as far as everybody that you saw in that video of us performing at the Orpheum here in town, it was a lot of those people I've known for many, many years. So that's where the tightness comes from.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, just because it's so hard to keep a band together, man. Like, I mean, you were lucky that you were able to find a good group of people that you could rely on, but I mean that's not always the case. It's kind of hard.
No.
What do you think what do you think kind of keeps the same guys in together? What do you think is the binding force?
Shared trauma.
Doing battle on the road, bro.
Dude, I mean, you just at the end of the day, like I saw there was an interview with BB King that I saw a long time ago, and I know I make pop music and do all that sort of stuff, but some of my favorite musicians that I have listened to my entire life were kind of born and bred musically in Memphis.
Oh, that's SRV.
Hey, dude, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about.
This is supposed to be. This is supposed to be BB.
Hey,
That's supposed to say BB. But
I didn't know you were like that, man.
yeah, I didn't know you were like that.
Like that.
I didn't know you were like
No,
that.
like you never know what people are
Roots,
motivated
baby.
by. And for you
Roots,
to
baby.
have those guys' names on your body, that's not Sharpie, right? You didn't
No,
just do
fuck
that for the
no.
interview.
No, hell no. I wish it was Sharpie. Jesus, these things don't come up. I mean, I love those artists, but do I need them poorly tattooed on my body? No, I don't. I can just enjoy their music and tell people about them like normal people. But
Coney, you saw that, right? Coney, I know you saw that.
did you
Now
see?
he's going to expect me to do that. Conios is a big blues fan, and we both share a love for BB King,
I
just
love
like you.
BB.
But anyway, that interview I saw, BB said something to the effect of, I don't want the best players in the world in my band. I would rather have gentlemen that I know I can grow with and have a good time with. And that was always rule number one for me. Like, I have to enjoy being around you.
Yeah.
To make this happen. And we took a trip to New York City. We stayed in this roach infested Airbnb in Jersey City.
Ugh.
And yeah, dude. And man, that experience brought us together in a very real way. That was probably 5 years ago. Because before that, I was playing local shows and playing with other artists and touring around the world with other people, and kind of decided to take that what I learned and apply that to my own band. And that trip brought us together, man. That trip, yeah.
It's true, man. Trauma will bring you together. It's just you're on the road. I always make the analogy. It's like being in the trenches, man. You're in the trenches. You're fucking fighting the same battle. You guys are on the stage every night. You're trying. It's a grind, and you either grow really close together or you grow really far apart. Because by the end of those rough rides, it's like you were either like best friends or mortal enemies. Because it's just, what's up, MMA Marks? Welcome. Thanks for being here, buddy. It's good to see you. Those Joe Rogan. I love that Joe Rogan emo. It's amazing. But
Dude,
it's so cool. I always I have to respond. Excuse me. Let me respond by throwing out some Nature Boy there.
there we go.
Hey, but yeah, man, it's funny how people. It's funny how people, when you're looking at a band and they just see a bunch of lazy, dirty musicians and they have no idea like the the work that really goes into it. And it's funny because like when you tell people your experiences, they're just like, I mean, I've told people like just horror stories, and they're just like, that still doesn't sound that bad. I mean, it's just you're just traveling, fucking playing music. What's so bad about that? It's like, well, we all had to sleep on a really wet carpet all night, and it was cold. That's bad.
You don't. It is, and
That's awful.
we don't really play shows like that anymore. But when we first started touring, if you driving 20 hours to Maine to play a show for $400, like where's the logic in that?
I hate that too. It's like, oh god.
So it's those memories and kind of this continuing. I honestly, I think it's like my marriage. I don't try to explain why it works, but I can tell you why I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And the thing that I enjoy most about playing with these guys is not actually the playing with them. It's just those moments that we get to share together, and the fact that I will never get too big for my britches, because one of them will be there to knock me back down a peg.
Get down there.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Sit down.
It's a pretty invaluable thing. I've realized it's a very Memphis thing. Not being afraid of authority and all that. And at the end of the day, like, yeah, I pay them, but they're still my friends, and they're still my band members, and they're still going to be like, man, you ain't shit.
Which is the best. No, saying that kind of relationship is invaluable is is everything. That kind of relationship, like I never understood why people get so, like you don't want to hear some certain things because of ego or whatever, but it's like if you're not being told those things, you're gonna just continue doing the same stupid thing thinking that that's okay. It's like those
Yeah.
people who you could trust, who are honest, and who you value in your life, that says, hey, sit the fuck back down, like that's so important. Thank you, Reina. Love you, boo. But not even from my wife, but even from, just bandmates or just friends in general. Like those are the people you want, are the people who tell you you're full of shit, because most likely you are, but maybe not all the time. Like you're able to maintain a relationship, so you're not always full of
Exactly,
shit.
exactly. Even if it is based on some external form of art, that's like
Exactly.
how your relationship is maintaining. But
Yeah.
I think you have to have at a certain point, once people start to see that you are gaining any sort of traction at all, and I don't claim to be some, like massive touring artist or anything like that. Like we play our shows, and I hope for bigger things to come. I always do, but I love living in whatever moment we're in.
Yeah.
Um, so I have to have those people in my life, because I have to have people that will keep me in check and tell me no in
Yeah.
my life, because there are so many people there's so many people that are going to pat you on the back
Yeah.
and tell you that you're fantastic. You like the biggest and most important thing for me is to have people that will be honest with me and tell me no. Like I released a Christmas song right before Christmas, and we had written it on stream and the whole thing. And I went and showed it to my wife, and she was like, this doesn't make any sense. You just stuck a bunch of Christmas cliches into a song. And I was like, we were sourcing the lyrics from the chat and everything. Like, it makes sense. I promise. And she was like, there's no story. And so I went back and rewrote it and everything. And I just found out yesterday that it's going to be featured in a Lifetime movie.
Oh. Oh man, so you took the advice from your wife and sort of
I
rethought
did.
it, and now
Yep.
it's sort of there you go. I mean, it's those kind of moments where you're just like, oh, I guess I should be listening to this person.
Oh man, no. Like when she voices her opinion about something, I always listen, because Lena she's everybody loves her. And so with that comes this sort of respect, and she understands that, like, when she opens her mouth, people listen. And yeah, I always you know how it is, dude. You know how it is.
Oh, I do. Well, and that's the thing, man. If
Thank you, Willow. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, big ups to the people in your life that telling you you're full of shit. My wife is so crucial. I mean, like I seriously do believe that if it wasn't for my wife, I'd still just be running into walls in the dark by myself, like just constantly smashing into walls in the dark all the time.
Well, big ups to Reina then.
Oh hell yeah, big ups to Reina for sure. We got another question here I wanted to hit. You're always so patient and kind. When was the last time you actually got mad? Oh, I like this. This is a
Who asked
sexy
that?
question. Willow.
Willow. Of course she would ask me that.
Out in the street, they call it murder.
I'm just having fun now, everybody. Okay. Thank you for that host, Mark.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Thank you, Mark. I think the last time I was angry, I don't remember the last time I was angry. Like really, really angry. I'm not fronting, I promise. Like I don't. Yeah, that's such a tough question, dude, because my whole state of being is based on I want to have more patience than anybody should in their own right have. Like that's always been kind of my thing, because I've got family members that have this much patience, like that much, just like pow. And as a seeing that as a kid, like you want to dial your patience up all the way. You either like are like that, or you're the opposite of that, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I learned from my grandfather at a very young age that the key to being the type of person you want to be is to just sit and listen.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite of Twitch. So I don't, maybe I'm a hypocrite, but like, you just get on and you just talk for 4 hours. But
No,
at the same
but you
time,
are listening. You are listening. There's a response and a
I
back
think
and
I think
forth.
the last time I got angry, like in a split second, one of my birds just like took a dump on my head. I think
It's like,
that's what I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
yeah, that's nice. I wish I could have that disposition. Like one of my biggest goals in life is to have that disposition because at the beginning of the show, I was kind of telling everyone sort of what was going on with last Friday's stream with talking about censorship and stuff, and oh man, like I'm very quick to react, and that's the problem. So it's if I could only get to that zen, that Nick Black zen, that's it's because people reached out afterwards, and I was like responding with like a really quick, my show's not for everybody. That's it. Don't come back. It's like don't come back. And there is a part of me that feels like that, but I also feel that there's a part of me that wants to reach that person I want them to come back, and I want them to have a good time, and I want them to understand what I'm talking about and not get upset because the way I'm explaining it and expressing it. And that's what sucks is like sometimes I get and then I'm not expressing myself correctly. And at that point I'm just it's just mouth vomit. So I need that Nick Black Zen. How do I get to that Nick Black Zen? How did you get to that point? How do you get to that point where you could just sort of let things roll off?
My wife.
My wife.
16 years together with my wife.
Wow, 16 years. Were you guys high school sweethearts or something? I mean,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
We met sophomore year. I told the story on stream the other day, but I took my wife's best friend at the time out on a date because I liked her best friend, and we went to see a movie. It was a funny movie, and it was in the theater. It was I was sitting here, and then my date, and then my wife, and then this guy that she brought. It was a double date. We were 15 years old, man,
Yeah.
and so I'm dying laughing the whole time, and throughout the course of the movie, my wife's friend was literally like, if I'm here, my wife's friend was just like steadily like moving away from me in horror as I slapped my knee at this funny movie. And yeah, that didn't work out. And then me and my wife went out the next week, and we've been together ever since.
That's wonderful. That's beautiful. I love that. That's very nice. I wanted to read what Daniel said because that's pretty funny. I recommend an ultrasound guided curcumin. What is curcumin? Oh, curcumin. Is that how you say that? Oh, yeah, because he's talking about food. Okay. I recommend an ultrasound guided curcumin ghee enema for you when it comes to healing your depleted kidney and improving your rectal health. Hope that was helpful, mate. Yeah, that's pretty helpful. I've heard that like coffee enemas are good for your liver.
Really?
Yeah. Coffee enemas, but you want the raw coffee, the unroasted coffee. So when they're still green, you want to make it like you're making coffee. Put it in an enema bag, and you put your legs over your head like that.
Yep.
Keister that thing, and hello, good liver.
Butt chug it.
Thank you. That was very eloquently put. Butt chug it, everybody. Let's see. That's a beautiful love story. That is a beautiful love story. Coffee enemas are pseudo. Thank you. Thank you. Bango Bright, what's up? Was it really
Mango?
Was it really?
You nailed it on the head. Yes, it was. Wait, did somebody else say? Did somebody give it? Did Willow say Napoleon Dynamite or something?
Was it?
Hey, my wife is in chat.
Oh, hey, what's up? Is that Lena Twitch to troll Nick? Oh, okay.
Lena got Twitch to troll Nick. Yep.
Nice. Lena, welcome. Thank you for being here, and thank you for bringing us such a zen human being to talk to. I'm trying to learn his Zen. How do I get
Please
to
don't get me in trouble. Please don't get me in trouble.
I was going to guess it for real. That was a movie I remember from the early teens. What? Oh, the quote. What? I depended on Mark is confused. Well, welcome, Lena. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it and supporting your hubby here. Can you play a couple songs from your Twitch streams? I don't know how he'll do that, but I mean,
I can send you a link if you want.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's send a link on over. We could play some. Wait, this is the stuff you create online, right? Or on stream?
Yeah.
Okay,
this is stuff that's unreleased, so
unreleased,
no chance of getting DMCA'd.
Bring that shit. Bring that shit. Let's do it. Like the people want to hear what's going on. I have no problems with that.
Let's see here. So I'll send you one. Is it cool if I'll copy it into? Man, I'm just gonna copy it into the Twitch chat.
Oh yeah, that works too. It might get mad at you for dropping a link.
Oh, you think it will?
I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember if you can drop a link or can't. Yeah, I mean, if you want to drop a link in the chat, let's see what happens. Yeah, there it is. You just can't click on it. Okay, no problem. That's easy. Copy. All right, and this is a.
What do you mean? I can click on that.
Oh, can you click on it? Oh,
yeah.
I guess anybody could just drop links in the chat now.
I think Reina just gave me permission right when I did it.
Oh, because Reina's a good mod. That's right. All right.
Reina's a wonderful mod. Reina's the best mod.
She's much better than I. It's like people have to tell me. It's like, hey, there's trolls. Oh my god, I'm sorry, everybody. Sorry.
Yeah. So this is the one I was telling you about, where a wonderful just a fan sent me a sample over Facebook Messenger of her playing this kind of hang drum thing, and me and my co-producer, I brought him over that day, and we just kind of went ham on it. So this is that. Whenever you play it, it's called Priceless.
Priceless. Here we go. Gas me up.
I think she knows it. The way she moving right to left, her body flowing, got me running out of breath. Well, she a winner. She got the trophy in the case. Judge say a perfect 10. No competition in the race. I've been all over the world and I never seen nobody like you. While every eye is stuck on us, let's show them what we can do. I know she knows I'm digging on her. The vibe she giving, let's take our time, don't want to end it. She a dime with a dollar, but she passes to me. I know she knows I'm digging on her. The vibe she giving, let's take our time, don't want to end it. She a dime with a dollar, but she passes to me. In the car we getting tokey. We in the oven, easy bake. Bust out the karaoke. I'll sing a little Timberlake. Cry me a river. I shot a Cuervo, and we can party till the sun. Hey, we dropping big dinero. The night has only just begun. I've been all over the world and I never seen nobody like you. While every eye is stuck on us, let's show them what we can do. I know she knows I'm digging on her. The vibe she giving, let's take our time, don't want to end it. She a dime with a dollar, but she passes to me. I know she knows I'm digging on her. The vibe she giving, let's take our time, don't want to end it. She a dime with a dollar, but she passes to me. Lit up a rooftop, 2 bottles of bubbly hit a new spot. Few shots of Kentucky fill the jukebox. All night long to get lucky singing. Hey, we in the lamb drop, hands all on. How about it? No, we can't stop. Run straight through the lobby to the penthouse. Hell yeah, we're getting on it like hey. I know she knows I'm digging on her. The vibe she giving, let's take our time, don't want to end it. She a dime with a dollar, but she passes to me. I know she knows I'm digging on her. The vibe she giving, let's take our time, don't want to end it. She a dime with a dollar, but she passes she priceless to me.
Oh, what is up? That was dope, man. I love it.
Thanks, dude.
And we got to listen to it. We got to listen to music. Lovely Lace, we got to listen to music. Can you believe it? For once, we got to listen to music on stream. Lovely Lace, welcome. And everybody, Lovely Lace is the wonderful mod I was talking about. If you have any questions for Cypher Deluxe, ask either one of our mods, but Lovely Lace is the MC of the whole Cypher Deluxe. So get with her or get in the Discord. Yeah, that was dope. All right. I'm gonna turn off the emote wall, guys. That was just for the song. I'm gonna turn it off just so we can talk without distraction. But I thought that would be fun to have a little emote wall action for that song. Yeah, man, that's awesome. So that was the sample from the hang drum.
Yeah, I don't know if the hang drum is a thing that makes like tones. The word it's like a djembe or something that she sent me. I didn't know what it was.
Is it like a cajon or something? Let's hear
something like that.
Let's just hear it again real quick and just try to decipher what it is. You guys can let us know if you guys know what the instrument is.
I think she knows
It's like
it.
boom, 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 boom,
The way she moving right to left, her body flowing, got me running out of breath.
I definitely hear the djembe. Cool, man.
I think it's a djembe possibly, but she sent it to me and I was like, absolutely, absolutely.
Doing this, that's fun. That's fun because you don't really hear djembes. What's up, Yeet Boy? Sorry, I just saw you there.
Yeet Boy, what's up, man?
Yeet, Yeet Boy. Good to see you, brother. So, what was I gonna ask you? So they sent you that sample, and what the funny thing is that you don't really hear that kind of sounds in that kind of music. You don't really hear a lot of djembes and stuff. So I thought that was interesting that you decided to use that as for like one of these sort of like jamming little soul songs. It's cool. So tell me, man, how? Whoa, hold on. We got another question.
Okay.
Can we please collab on songs? Question mark. Reina Mystique.
Oh, I mean, I answered it in chat immediately. I said, "Oh yeah."
Sorry, I didn't see that. I was too busy. Probably just blathering. All right. So,
Donkey Kong drum, hate the human race. Yes, dude, it's the Donkey Kong drum.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us know. Hey, we were really racking our brain with trying to figure out what kind of drum that was. Yeah, I think so too. So tell me why soul music, man? Why soul? Like I'm just curious. What brought you to soul? I mean, obviously, out of all the musics in the world, you chose this one, and why?
It kind of chose me.
I like it. It chose me. That's right.
It's just what ended up happening through the course. You can only control your life so much, right? Like people, you trick yourself into thinking that you have these this like massive amount of control. You can make decisions on a daily basis and a weekly basis, and sometimes bigger than that. But when it comes down to the people that you end up spending the most time with, and those that mold you, that's just like time passing that passes so fast that you don't realize it. And those are the people you end up liking the most, you spend the most time with. And when I was 19, I was at the University of Memphis studying music business, and I hit up a friend of mine and I was like, look, I'm looking for an open mic or like something that can get me into what Memphis music has become, because I'd heard Al Green and I'd heard BB King and I'd heard Otis Redding and I'd heard Elvis and blah, 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 blah. I'd heard all of that. I was like, what's happening now?
Yeah.
And this was probably like, I don't remember what year, but either way, she said, you have to go check this thing out called The Word. And I was like, what's that? And she gave me an address and said, just go into this restaurant and go down into the basement. They have a like a kind of a club secret thing there. And man, I showed up, and the music that they played, I came in and it was this very sort of, it felt like a 1930s jazz club kind of situation.
Yeah.
And there was tables set up, all stone walls. and it was like a shotgun room to the back, and there was a band set up, and they started playing Corinne Bailey Rae's Closer, which I don't know if you've ever
I
heard
do.
that said
I
dum bum
don't
dum dum
want to
dum dum.
get
Yes, 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 you know it. I had never heard that song before, nor had I ever heard any neo soul music.
Oh,
And it completely, my mind was just like, it
yeah.
exploded my brain. And from then on, I realized that what I wanted to do was something in that vein. And the best way I could explain it to people was kind of this mix between, you get asked, and you have to have your bios written, and you have to have, an easily palatable way to explain what you do. And so pop soul music was kind of the thing that sort of came out of that. There's a lot of artists similar to what I was doing, like, Alan Stone and Justin Timberlake. But then to explain it, like the best way I can explain it is just a cross between John Mayer and John Legend, because the way that I write is very similar to those two and their music. And, I play guitar. That's kind of the best way to explain how the blues influence sort of made its way into my playing.
Yeah. You're a pretty good guitarist, man. I mean, you got some licks, you got some chops.
Thank you.
Soul got you, and then what was the thing that made you be like, okay, I just got to make this kind of music now? Like, this is what I got to do.
I never really paid attention to that. I just made the music I wanted to make.
Fair enough. Did you ever have a time, like, was there ever a before time where it was like I'm thrasher metal, blah, or
dude,
is it,
yeah,
I mean, I think we all.
Yeah,
do.
no.
If you play guitar,
so
you had a thrasher metal moment.
Oh no. I feel like, I went through. Oh gosh, so I picked up a guitar in 7th grade. I was like 13.
Okay.
And because of a buddy of mine, and he was listening to hair metal and heavy metal and death metal. So I was listening to stuff like Pantera and Metallica and Children of Bodom and Bon Jovi and Whitesnake and Poison, all this like mishmash of machismo, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite concerts I've ever been to was Steve Vai. And he was my guitar idol for a while. I learned how to play a lot of his songs and everything. And then something just happened, man. Like, I started hanging with musicians who were interested in other things. And I was very, you're very impressionable, whether you admit it or not, as a teenager. So I started hanging with other musicians who were playing different stuff. And then, like, once I hit college and started hanging in the like neo soul jazz crowd here in Memphis, it was like, that's where I made my current friends, and I met my bandmates, and that's how that happened.
Yeah. I mean, that's not bad, man. I was the same way, man. I was the same way, where I had this certain idea of what I wanted to be as a musician and what kind of music I listened to, and then once you start hanging around with other people and start getting outside of that whatever little bubble you're in, and you start exploring the world, you start understanding, it's like, wow, there's so much out there. It's so cool. But you've always had sort of an affinity for the old school soul, right? Like, you've always sort of had that thing. Where does your love for music come from? I know you said your mom was a musician and stuff. Did your parents have a lot of music in the house? Was there a lot of...
Yes. Yes, dude. And just like, I mean, I'm pretty sure every musician, that grew up dreaming of big stages and wanting to play in front of as many people as possible, grew up with music in their house to some extent. And yeah, mine was my mom playing Al Green records and BB King records and Muddy Waters. And then my dad would be playing like the Beatles. And then he would turn around and play some sort of, some like late 19th century impressionist, like Debussy or Eric Satie or something like that. We'd listen to like Bach at while we were eating dinner. And there was just so much music around all the time. Like, my mom, she would clean for hours on the weekend because she was working. My mom had the craziest work schedule, man. She would work 7 on, 7 off. Oh. And she would do 12-hour shifts at a hospital. So she would do 12 hours a day for 7 days straight. and then have 7 days off. So she would clean, and try to do life stuff on those 7 days off. And dude, she would just be playing like Sting and Alanis Morissette and Live and 10,000 Maniacs and
nice.
All these old records and like, and my dad would come home from work and we'd listen to classical music and then, like older rock and, like Flying Burrito Brothers and stuff like that. It's everywhere, man. It's a wonder that I make any music that sounds like anything else, because it just there was so many different styles of music coming at me at all times. And I think one of the biggest influences for me, lyrically and musically, was Sting. And Sting didn't have any genre that he was tied to either.
Right.
And so I was kind of, I was always listening to these people that were taking big, and what was crazy, man, is that like Sting's album Mercury Falling was a big influence on me. And he had the Memphis Horns playing on it, who had played on all of Otis Redding's music, some of Al Green's music. These artists that had influenced me by proxy, I rediscovered through these other, it all sort of worked together, man. And
are those guys still working in Memphis? Those guys, those horn players?
No, they've passed away. Andrew Love passed away a long time ago, maybe in like the 90s. And then Wayne Jackson, who I've got to hang with his family and everything. We recorded a show down in Muscle Shoals at Fame Studios a couple of years ago.
That's awesome.
And got to hang out with his sister and talk about him and everything. It was a really very, very cool opportunity to have. But Wayne passed away a few years ago.
Oh man, that's a bummer. Is there any of that old school Memphis soul, those players from those old records, are they still out there? I mean, I know they have to be older now, but I mean, are they still out there working or that you know of?
Yeah. Oh, and the ironic thing, man, is that those musicians that you hear on all those records, whether it's Stax or High Records or the Beach Boys albums and stuff like that, those musicians, man, they still play. They still just go out and gig with people. Like, the country musicians in Nashville, you never know who you're going to run into in Memphis or in Nashville. Like, you can go down to Beale Street and see Leroy Hodges play bass for some, random blues artist or whatever. Somebody's just doing covers, and Leroy played on every single Al Green and Ann Peebles and O.V. Wright album that you ever heard. Like, he was one of the Hodges brothers. He was 16 years old when he was doing it. And, he's a grown ass man now.
Right.
But it's always an education, man. And Memphis is an incredible place to grow up. I always tell people that, there isn't as much industry here as I would like there to be.
Yeah.
But dude, if you can make a name for yourself in Memphis, you can make a name for yourself anywhere, because it's pretty cutthroat.
Yeah. I was gonna ask about that. How was it trying to break into it? I mean, I feel like there's some. I feel like it's a little notorious, the idea of trying to break into like the Austin scene, the Nashville scene, the Memphis scene. Like, these are notoriously known music scenes where you really do have to sort of break your ass in there. You have to sort of bust in and elbow your way in there, because you're up against some of the greatest players in the country here. And I saw your question, Willow. We'll get there. So how did you end up sort of making your way in?
It's kind of a philosophical thing, but I mean, you just have to gig. Like, you just have to. You have to play and play and play and play and play and play until you don't suck anymore, and then you're okay. And then you play and play and play and play and play and play until you're a little bit better than okay. And then you just keep learning. But for me, there was always people. It's kind of like there's two ways you can look at it. I'm going to stop rambling. The first way is that you can say that you have big shoes to fill, because you do have artists like B.B. King and Albert King and Elvis and Al Green and just all the legendary artists that are from here and recorded here. You can choose to say that you've got big shoes to fill, or you can just say that you're standing on the shoulders of giants, and you can really only move forward. But you have to find that balance between past, present, and future.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I feel that music is always doing. Like it just inherently does that. It's like this barometer for humanity that we use to kind of see where we're at and gauge how we're supposed to feel when we don't know what we're supposed to feel.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. I'd say huge music, art in general. I mean, they both, culture and music, they both inform each other, and I mean, it's such a huge thing. So the way that you got into Memphis scene is just by getting better and better, and just talking and networking, and just moving up the ranks slowly but surely, and getting better the whole time. And that seems like the way that most things are. Most scenes are like that. You kind of gotta show up. First of all, you gotta show up. You gotta show out. You gotta show them what you got, and then you just keep showing up, and then. Like that, because it reminds me of that quote that B.B. King, you were just saying, where it's like, they don't have to be the best players in the world, but I have to be able to be cool with them. They have to be my homie. Like, I have to be able to call these people my family, and travel and be with these people in the best and worst of times. And I feel like that's just great advice for anybody trying to break into a scene or just starting music. Is like, you do get to the best of your abilities you can, but remember, be on time, be easy to work with, be friendly, like you gotta be friendly and easy to work with. I was just talking to the Ari O'Neill, who is the guitarist for Beyonce and Jay-Z and Lizzo, and I mean, she's just in it. And she was saying the same thing. She's like, sometimes she said a little more crude, but she was like, sometimes people suck and they're still up on stage with the biggest of them. And she didn't say people suck. She actually said it way nicer than that, actually. I don't know why she said it crude, but she did put a little attitude on it, which I thought was fun. But, some people, they're not the greatest, but they're easy to work with. And again, they can be worked with. They're not full of ego and piss and vinegar. And I think that goes a long way for anybody in trying to get in anywhere.
Finding out who you're supposed to be is only possible through action. You can't just sit and think about who you want to be. You have to make decisions and be willing to go with the flow, and don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole. It's the
or if you are an asshole, fake it and act like you're not an asshole.
Right. It's the best thing you do, because like you can be the best player, you can be the best you can be the best musician ever in the world, but if you're showing up late, you're an asshole, you're rude to people, like you're not going to work. You're not going to work. It's just, I mean, maybe on some level you'll be working somewhere, but I've known murderers, just complete assassins who just sit home on Friday and Saturday nights just because their attitude is bad, or they're trying to, or they're Mr. Steal Your Girl, or just like the worst kind of people. That with the biggest talents, and I don't get it, but hey, people grow up differently. All right,
dude,
please.
You have to be, if you're gonna be that guy, or that person, I should say, if you're gonna be that person, you have to have the talent to match that.
Right.
Because if you're not talented enough to overcome whatever attitude you have that's keeping you from working, if you're not that talented, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like.
Right.
And the thing is, you and I both know people that are that talented. You look at them and it's like staring at the sun.
Yes.
And you're just like, I can't stop looking at it. My retinas are burning out of my skull, but I can't stop watching you.
Right.
So like, unless you truly are that talented, you gotta find other ways to do stuff. You gotta, what was it? Somebody said you either have to be the best or the most original, and very few of us can be the best. So just try to be the most original version of yourself.
There you go. That's good. That's solid. You're a university professor. How did that come about, Willow?
Randomly. It wasn't something that I planned on doing at any point soon. In my mind, when I first got asked to, I teach songwriting at the University of Memphis, and I teach a couple of other things, and I actually led the whole program for an entire year because of some extenuating circumstances. I had to take an interim position, which meant not just teaching, but like advising and scheduling and going to faculty meetings, which is just, but I thought that, that was for another point in my life, because I associated teaching with my grandmother and my grandfather and my father, who of course have always been older than me. So I thought, I'll tour and I'll make music, and then I'll teach when I'm in my late 40s or my early 50s. That was what happened in my mind. But man, I found a passion for it. And through just seeing what a little bit of work can do to impact young minds, that completely changed my thinking about that. So I always, even if I am touring a lot, or things are sort of in flux and I have to be available and can't teach as much, I try to do something every single semester at the University of Memphis to just share what the silly things that I've learned that I didn't learn. And it's funny because I was the head of the same program that I graduated from. It just like went full circle, dude.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah.
Well, yeah, like that idea versus teaching versus being creative, versus being a creative as an artist. It's like you have these options, and people are like, "Well, I'll teach when I'm not on tour, or I'll teach when I'm in my 40s and stuff." What, my wife is a voice teacher, and she's kind of going through this thing right now where it's just like, well, she really loves teaching and she likes, touching people's lives and growing students and all that. But there's this part of her that wants to just create. Do you ever run into that sort of those opposing ideas? Because there's this idea of that if you're teaching, you're not really creating, and there's this idea that, if you're a musician who's teaching, then you're not really a musician or something, there's that weird nonsense, right, that goes around. How would you balance that? How do you balance that? I mean, I know you get a lot out of teaching, but how do you balance sort of that dichotomy of teaching versus being a creative? How do you balance it in the sense of feeling fulfilled with what you're doing? Yeah, I mean that doesn't look like it's fun to do. Like, I don't know.
It's just you have to like put a schedule together. I mean, it's something that I've always been terrible at doing, staying organized.
Awful.
It's like and for the first time in my life, I said this to my folks in Discord and my mods the other day, but for the first time in my life, I actually made a schedule.
Wow.
And
okay, so that's
it has removed anxiety that just like comes with not knowing what you're supposed to be doing or if it's the right thing. But just like for some reason writing things down and just saying, this is what I'm going to do on Tuesdays. This is what I have class from here to here, and then I have a break. I'm going to eat then. Oh God, what a concept. Scheduling when you're going to eat, like, so that you're not dying at the end of the day. Scheduling family time, man. Like, finding purpose through like the diversity in your life. There was a movie, Soul. Have you seen Soul yet?
Yes.
Okay. The whole paradox of finding your purpose in life and finding reasons to live, and how they're not the same thing.
Right.
Like, having a purpose in life is cool, but it does not outweigh finding reasons to live. And reasons to live are people and experiences, and finding a purpose in life is, that's kind of fleeting. Like you can chase it and you might grab it for a second, but it's like a, snitch from Harry Potter. It just like right out of your hand. Yeah. So you have to find reasons to live. And, just seeing my life laid out like this, it did something to my brain, Not saying I don't like have weird anxiety pop up and I have to just like sit and meditate and try to get myself out of it, but it certainly helps. But that's not the answer people ever want to hear. That's not the answer that my students ever want to hear. No, they're like, so how do I make it? And I'm like, dude, that's the when people ask me that question, why haven't you made it yet?
Oh.
That has become my biggest pet peeve. And it's like, what do you what does it look like I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm living my life and working to be in the process of making it, you
Right.
know? And so when my students say, how do I get to where you are? I'm like, well, you'll never do that because you're not me.
Right.
You have to go do what you feel passionately about. If money was no object, was that Alan Watts quote? If money was no object, what would you do? And when you take money away, sometimes people's minds are just like, I don't know. I guess I would like ride horses every day or something, you
Right.
know? So I don't know. Does that answer your question?
Sure. No, sure. No, this that idea of people who are like, you're still doing that, or like, oh, I thought I didn't know you were still making music, or like whatever it is, those questions of like, it comes from this weird place that society has this where like we're making it in the industry, in the music industry or in the arts means that you're on the cover of Rolling Stones magazine and whatever that means anymore. But like you're on MTV, whatever that means anymore. Uh, wow, I am so dated right now.
No,
And
dude, you have a point though. You have a point because like anytime I've ever been nominated for an award or I've been like something really amazing and like a big moment has happened, you make a big deal out of it on social media because it's what it's what you want to brag about, you know? But it wasn't like I went into that month or that week going, you know what? I'm gonna be nominated for a BMA this week. Like that's how I'm gonna live my life right now. Like
yeah.
I'm gonna exist within that mindset and everything. Like I'm all for visualization,
Mm-hmm.
and visualizing your goals and what's in front of you and all that. But um, man, people love it when you just live in the moment. Like that's how music works.
Yeah.
That's why I play music so I can just be on whatever's happening at that time.
Yeah.
So I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, and Willow made a great point, and like success means being happy with what you're doing, and it's like when people are saying like, oh, you haven't made it, or why haven't you made it? It's like, and you're like, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing what I want. Like, it's like people don't understand people's idea of making it or being a successful musician or artist is so skewed because they think that you're supposed to be this rich famous guy banging models or something, or person, whatever. But the but really it's the idea that you are pursuing something that you love, that you're passionate about, and that you are making it, and you're paying your bills, and you're paying your mortgage, and you're paying your car payment, and you're buying gifts for your family, and you're doing stuff, all this is coming from what you love doing. And that's what success in the arts is, in my book. Success in the arts is, I mean, at the bare minimum, success in the arts is just making art, right? It's like, just make something, and then maybe present it to somebody somewhere, and then go from there. But success is not being having billions of YouTube counts or whatever, or views. It's like, it's being able to be self-sufficient, doing what you love doing. And this idea that you haven't made it yet is just, it's just stupid, right? It's just,
Well,
it's a silly point that people sort of they reinforce it every time they ask that stupid question. They're reinforcing that silly bias that our society sort of has painted a life in the arts. It's like, if you go into the life of the arts, you always hear from parents or whatever. It's like, my parents, I always bring this up. My parents always says, like, go into the arts. They always encourage me, but go to college and learn about a career that's useful. So when you inevitably fail from music, you'll have something to fall back on and be miserable for the rest of your life. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And I tried it, but it didn't work out very well because I didn't care for school very much. But the point is that we sort of put this pressure on people from a young age. And when you think about it as a society, like, the first thing that gets cut from schools is the arts. When you think about it when you zoom out a bit, it's like we even cut the arts out of our schooling first to save money. So it's like it's like they want you to dance. They want you to be the dancing monkey for them. But unless you're a millionaire and you're balling out of control, you haven't done shit with your life. You know, it's like there's just such a weird mixed message that we send potential artists and the youth and such. I don't know. That was kind of a weird.
Totally agree. No, I everybody's measure of success. My success is different than your success,
Yeah.
and that's something that we all have to be cognizant of. You know, you said something a little while ago, like just that the bare minimum is just making art, and then there's paying your bills, and then there's being able to pay other people's bills, and then there's being able to go into other ventures that you're interested in. And yeah, no, I mean, there's so much stuff that I want to do. But you know, it won't be possible if I try to do it all at once. So, you know, and as far as the question of, you know, why haven't you made it yet? It's always the intention behind it, right? Because if somebody comes into the chat while I'm making music, it really is, I see the genuine question. Like, I just happened upon you. It's like 5 questions in one. When they say, why haven't you made it yet? They're asking, how have I never seen you before? They're complimenting me. And they're saying, like, based on my measure of what success would look like as a musician, it's you. And so, like, I take that as a huge compliment. My problem is when people, they say it to me like it's my fault. Like I somehow have the ability to just wake up one day and be like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call the heads of every major record label, get them in a Zoom call, and to ask them what's wrong with them and why I'm not famous yet. Like, totally, that'll totally work.
Yeah, it worked for nobody. So why wouldn't it work for Nick?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, man. It's weird. But I like what Skeet says. The one thing that this quarantine taught everybody is how desperately we need arts and how desperately we need entertainment right now. And anybody who's sort of on the fence about being a content creator, I would say that now's the time. Like, read the writing on the wall. This is where it's going, bro. Do it. Like, anybody who ever comes to me and asks me about anything, and it's not like a bunch of people are coming to me asking me about this shit, but you know, when I do get that thing, it's like, it's just, when someone does ask me, it's like, what do I do? How do I get there? What do you do? It's like, you just start doing it and just show up and be consistent and work, you know, like focus, you know, like you have to focus on what you're doing, and it's a lot, and people don't, and not a lot of people want to do that. And then that's on them, I suppose.
Yeah, it's very true.
When you're teaching your classes, your songwriting classes, what's like the first thing that you teach in songwriting? Because songwriting can be kind of a obtuse subject. You know, like starting a song can come from a myriad of directions. So where do you start?
It's a personal journey for sure, but with my class, I have to be cognizant of the fact that they are music business students, and some of them have no musical inclination at all. They just love music, and they want to work at a publishing company, or they want to be an agent, or they want to be able to further someone else's career as a manager or something like that. So you have to start from square one, man. Creative writing. Like, you have to be able to put your feelings on the page. And so the first exercise that I give my students, we talk about emotion and how that rules what music you're listening to, what decisions you make, whether you are, as you call me, Zen, or you just make spitfire decisions and, you know, bite people's heads off. Like, those are all emotionally driven decisions. And so I get them to write, just to tell me a story. Because that's what songs are. They're just stories in the most kind of beautiful, abstract way. If you can adequately tell me a story about something that came to your mind, then that's the first step. You have to be able to tell me a story, because if you can't succinctly tell me a story, and I'm not talking about them sitting across from me just being like, well, you know, blah, 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 blah. I want them to be able to take a memory and put it down on paper. Some people can't do that, Mike, and it blows my mind.
Yeah.
So it's a simple thing, and it starts off just like that. So I want to make sure that I'm pulling in, like I'm casting a super wide net. And then the next step is pulling in emotion. So I get them to first tell me a story. Then I get them to write about, we talk about anxiety, because, you know, most Gen Z, all my students are Gen Z at this point, and they are all dealing with anxiety and depression. And they have friends that have, you know, done horrible things to themselves, and they don't understand why. But and that's a whole nother, social media and all that, that's a whole nother discussion. But when it comes down to songwriting, it's emotionally tied. So you start off with a story, then I ask them to write a story about something that made them anxious, and then something that made them angry. And so you get to these things, and then I start getting them to identify emotion within songs. So it provides, like, you want to draw this silver thread through everything, to where at the end of the semester, when they have this beautiful song written, they go, how did I even get here?
Wow.
And yeah, it's always a really fun journey with ups and downs and confusion. And, you know, you just have to pull it when they drift too far away, you just pull them back. And yeah, so.
What's drifting too far away look like?
When they're not willing to emotionally open up. And that's something that I have to be careful of too,
Right.
because people put up those walls, and we're not talking about, you know, elementary school kids or high school kids even. We're talking about college students.
Right.
And they have really one goal in mind for going to school, and that is to graduate. It's not even really to learn. They want the paper. They want to be able to show their parents and everyone in their lives and their future employers that they completed something.
Right.
So if I can step into the room or the virtual classroom and say, there's something bigger here and you're missing the point, then they can be like, oh my God. Because even if they do want to be an agent or an artist manager, understanding that there's this huge pyramid that the music industry is, and at the very top of it is songs. Without songs, there would be no music industry.
Right.
Like, so they understanding the importance of that is a big deal to me. I totally drifted from your question.
Oh no, you answered it really well. You took us through a process of writing, and like, I think that anybody in chat who ever wanted to write a song or anything like that could definitely use what you just said to like do something. So that was amazing.
Mike, you know what's funny is that I'm actually streaming here in a little bit, and guess what I'm going to be doing?
Songwriting.
Dude.
What time do you start streaming?
Usually 3 p.m. Central, but you know, man, it's whatever happens with this. How long do you like?
Well, we got about half hour left, and it's not going to just be
perfect.
Perfect,
dude.
cool.
That's perfect.
Awesome.
That's perfect.
All right, so you were sort of like, that's a whole nother discussion, but I kind of wanted. No worries, gonna take off, but can lurk. I appreciate Lovely Lace. Thank you so much.
Bye, Lovely Lace.
You're always loved here, Lovely Lace. Having been in his class, I can confirm. Oh, I like that. We got some confirmation here.
Oh, Liz is here. Yes. And she hated talking about herself. She hated
it.
it.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, how do you get past that? Because there are some people who don't want to talk about their feelings. It's like they put those walls up for a reason. It's like, how do you get past that?
You just do. It's back to the man. There's no other way around it. That's like trying to explain the color purple to a blind person.
Yeah.
You can't explain what that is. So I've had a couple of students, and Liz, I don't think you were in this class. It was last spring. I had a student who came to the class without realizing that we were actually going to be talking about their stories in class. And so in that situation, the student had written a story that was deeply personal and should not have been shared with the class. And I totally understand that. Like, I completely understand. But for a generation that deals with their emotions, that doesn't have the tools to deal with, their emotions, because their parents were all on social media and their parents are all self-obsessed. And, they're like, we're not from that generation, man, where like, we just like hand our, I don't know if you have kids or what, but like, just handing your kid an iPad as like a babysitter.
Right.
We didn't have that.
No.
Like we'd go outside,
Right. Yes.
like we'd actually socialize. And so it's something, and I'm not saying that every student in Gen Z or every, Gen Z person has problems socializing. By no means am I saying that. They're like absolutely wonderful. And I feel like they're a better generation than there ever has been. They're more emotionally open. They're more willing to see someone else's side of the story, which is, oh my God, like that's incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like sometimes, and Liz Del B official will tell you, sometimes it's peer pressure, man. Sometimes like the class, I just get them to start clapping for whoever it is. And they'll end up, she said, for me, just knowing that the space I'm in is free from judgment and that there could be someone who relates to my story is how I started opening up. And then she had to finish it with an LOL, because you can't say anything emotional without putting an LOL at the end. So it makes people question how serious you were about saying it. Right, Liz?
that idea though, that idea of Gen Z sort of, I talk to a lot of young people. I talk to a lot of young rappers, young singers, I'm constantly talking to the youth, and almost every single one of them is like just anxious and sad, and you're right, man. Like the social dilemma, I think is a great existential crisis. The Social Dilemma, I think, is a great documentary for people to watch. I'm sure if you haven't watched it yet, I mean, it's been out.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
It's good.
I hated myself after watching it.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, Jonathan Haidt, I've been reading Jonathan Haidt for a while. He's one of the people who were featured on that film, and he wrote a whole book about it a couple years ago, and you just... they're seeing the correlation between the rise of Facebook and the rise of the like system with the rise of anxiety and the rise of depression and the rise of suicide among young women, young girls. Like, that's the saddest thing, is that it's young women who are really being affected by this. Geez, man, it's just not getting better. It's not getting any better, especially with this social media stuff, man. How do you balance the social media? I mean, like, you're an artist who performs on a social media platform, who has, your name is everywhere out there. How do you get out of that? I mean, there's points where I just like throw my fucking phone on the couch and I'm like, I'm not looking at that thing for the rest of the fucking day. I hate it. And the thought of like looking in a certain app makes me like my whole body cringe and stuff sometimes. And I just have to walk away. But how do you handle that? I mean, you're online constantly. You have to be because of what you do. So
I made a rule for myself. Now, in my mind, and I have to say this as a disclaimer before I say what I'm going to say. Twitch is a different thing for me. Twitch is a community of people, which can be toxic sometimes if you're in the certain streamers' chat rooms. But for the most part, if we're talking percentages and ratios, the ratio of positivity to negativity on Twitch far outweighs any other social platform. That's why I love Twitch. So having said that, my rule for Instagram and Twitter and Facebook is that I don't spend any more time on those platforms than I do planning. How do I explain this? The rule is don't spend spend the same amount of time on those platforms that you do planning the posts that you're going to make on those platforms. So if I spend 30 minutes coming up with, a post, or I'm like editing a video or whatever, I'm not saying I just sit there and go, okay, what do I need to post today? Even though sometimes that's what happens. Like I don't spend any more time just absent-mindedly scrolling than I did planning for that post. So like, I never want to be just scrolling and looking at other people's lives more than I spent trying to be creative about my own postings.
Yeah. That's a good rule. I should probably do something like that.
That's the only standing ovation I've ever gotten in a class. I wrote that rule on the whiteboard, and like somebody stood up as a joke and started clapping, and the rest of the students stood up. It was awesome.
I love that. That's very nice. No, it's good advice, man, because it's like you really do have to put limits on it, and I'm terrible at that. I'm terrible at limits. My wife's constantly giving me shit, as she should be giving me shit. You know, she's just like, you're constantly communicating with people, and then it's like by the end of the day you're so like emotional, like because it drains you emotionally. It gets you all worked up and at times, and which I stopped letting it do that, because you could be commenting on someone's post entire day, right? Like you could just be in an argument with somebody. Have you ever been in an argument on Facebook? Do you let it get to that point? Have you ever let it get to that point?
I'll say first, MMA marks. I totally agree. And what I'm saying,
Sure.
I want to differentiate what I'm saying from like interacting with content creators. Absolutely. Totally for that. That is positive interaction. I'm talking about absentmindedly scrolling. Like looking at, man, they're coming for you, bro. They're coming for you.
Not this time. People are actually happy to hear us today. Go ahead, please.
Nice. No, like just absentmindedly scrolling. It's Black game strong. Oh, dude. So yeah, you've like if you can actually get to the point where you make your feed just the people you want to see and just the creators and the family members and friends that you want to interact with, that's awesome. Now, as far as getting in arguments on social media, absolutely, I have. I've been accused of whitewashing. I've been accused of, I've been called terrible names, and it's just something that comes with putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And I feel like, man, there's a lot of different philosophies you can have about haters. One of my favorite, there's this gospel artist, Jonathan McReynolds, who said that haters are just an extension of your own, inferiority complex, right? Mm-hmm. Like that you could say that, because people talk about haters and they don't actually have any haters. It's just their own, fear of inadequacy. But when you actually do end up getting trolls and haters and stuff in your chats and on your videos and everything, you're doing something right. You're moving people, you're giving them emotion.
Yeah.
So, like that's how I try to look at it. Cause, my band, like they've dealt with racism their entire life. Right. So like, I can't sit here and be like, oh man, that hurt my feelings that you call me, you call me that word that's not actually that hurtful to me, when we've been driving through Mississippi and my band have to act like they're asleep when we get pulled over by a cop. Ugh. Like, man.
Oh,
so yeah, there's real life. And then there's, getting trolled and getting into an argument on Facebook. No, I just block people.
Yeah. Block. Yeah.
Ban hammer. Just lay the ban hammer, dude.
Later. Yeah. I'm all about that too. You mentioned, getting told that you're whitewashing, and maybe appropriation might have come across your page one time or another. How do you reckon that? How do you reckon that? I'm not judging you at all, but like, how do you personally take that and you reckon that? I suppose
it's always from a place of, there's no way that I can justify the hatred and atrocities of my ancestors. It's just not something that I can ever fix or give compensation for. It's just not something that's within my lifetime to do. It's bigger than that. So I just do my best to put positivity out there, man. Like that's all I'm trying to do. And if somebody thinks that I'm stealing from the Black community, it's only because I heard the song when I was at daycare getting raised by these amazingly strong Black women when I was, 4 and 5 years old, hearing Jodeci play like at the daycare because my parents were at work and I was there for 7 or 8 hours. And it's just like, it's the music that I grew up on. It's really, it's hard to deny your past and who you are deep, deep, deep down. Like I am working my hardest to outdo all that hate. And man, it's become really hard lately, but to squish that hate with as much love and patience as I possibly can. And I'm not talking about the people that, accuse me of cultural appropriation. I'm saying the people out there who are actually putting hatred into the world. Like the only way that we can defeat that is with unconditional love. Some people just need a hug, guys. Like I wish they could just come into chat and get a hug,
right.
Yeah. It's always a tough thing, Mike. It really is.
I'm sure, man. I'm sure. And to that shit, it's like, to me, I'm just like, fuck those people who are like appropriation. Music and art has always been a something that has broken boundaries. When you look back to back in the day within the swing era and jazz era, you have the mixing of races. They've always led the way. Music has always led the way in this bullshit. And this is all of our music. This is American music. Yeah. This is what we're doing, man. I just call bullshit. I get it. I get it that it comes from the blues, and I give all the props to Robert Johnson and B.B. King and all the greats. I give all the props. But this is
a very timely conversation since today's MLK's birthday. And
happy birthday, MLK.
Being from happy MLK Day, but being from Memphis, this is one of the cities where it's kind of a keystone within the civil rights movement. And so I have been around. I've been around the civil rights struggle and the story of the Black community my entire life. And I have so much more to learn. But when it comes to the, I just want to make everybody's life better. That's it. Like the band and I try to give back as much as possible. We do work for the deaf community. We do work within schools here in Memphis that have students that struggle more than others. Maybe some that don't have full families or parental support. There's so much opportunity to give back in Memphis within all communities that we try to, as much as we can.
Yeah. And again, fuck them for saying appropriation. It's all of us, dude. It's all of us. We're all in this shit together, man. As artists, we've always broken boundaries together. So we're hand in hand fucking shit up. Let's see.
Hold on. What is my wife saying? What is happening?
I don't know.
What flavor is you?
Yeah.
Oh man, they're like Mike and Nick are having their conversation's too serious. We got to talk about chapstick.
This is what happens. It's like as soon as the conversation steers in the hard direction, it's like, what about the chapstick? You guys remember the chapstick? Hey, what about the banana? You guys remember when the banana was a thing? What? Oh, well, Willow wants to know what the obsession is with bananas. Ha ha ha.
It wasn't mine. Like it wasn't mine at all. I don't have an obsession with bananas. I don't really eat them very often. I had this shaker that is my wife's, and she had it. Elena, I don't know when you got this, but I kind of just brought it into my studio room, and I was in here on Twitch one day, and I was like, "Oh, I need a shaker on a song." Just had it, and somebody went banana, and I was just like, "Okay." And then then it turned into this.
And now I have a banana suit.
Like.
Wait a second, Nick. Do you have wireless in-ears?
Yeah, I've got a Bluetooth in.
How dare you? Is that what you have in when you're streaming too?
No. I use I'm going like right now. I'm going directly into my computer, and I have an interface that I use when I'm streaming.
I got you. I was just like, damn, those in-ears, because we're looking for a good in-ear for streaming for Reina because she's always moving around and stuff. She just wants to be untethered, but it's hard.
Dude, I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link.
Please do.
Yeah.
Well,
By the way, can I just say, and I know in an interview, like I'm not supposed to like ask you questions and stuff or like comment on your life,
why
but
not?
like your wife has one of my favorite voices
Oh, wow.
on Twitch, period.
Oh, well, we share
Like-
something in common, sir.
Dude, like,
She's one of my favorite voices on Twitch too.
oh my God. I had to say that because it's,
there's no real rules here, Nick, as you can see.
well, I'm saying anybody that can just sit there and play like ukulele or guitar or something and just sing and just sound beautiful. That's, oh man.
Well, you can do it as well, sir. You're very talented in that department as well. And then, of course, what was your flavor of chapstick?
Oh, my wife answered it. It's mint. It's as you can see, this has been, hold on, let me see if I can cover my eyes. There. It's been through the wash.
Okay.
But it's, yeah, I think it's mint flavored. Peppermint. Yeah.
Peppermint birch
It's like a
bees or
vegan chapstick.
vegan chapstick. I love it. I love it. No bees were harmed in the making of that chapstick.
No, yeah.
Do you hear that, Nick?
What is that?
That is me remembering that I forgot to set up the fucking games. God damn it. Okay, guys, we're going to play How Much Does It Cost on Craigslist.
Was that the Song of Time?
No. Oh, yeah.
Are you serious, bro?
Yeah,
Are you a Zelda fan?
Well, just that one particular brand of Zelda. I don't care for any of the other ones.
No,
The
Ocarina of
Nintendo
Time is my
64.
favorite video
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys, give us just a second. Okay. We're gonna set up for games. I forgot to set up, so just give me 1 second. We'll be right back. We're gonna be playing for some patches from our sponsor, Hate the Human Race. I forgot to send you. I'm running low on patches, so I'm gonna have to wait until they re-up. But I'll resend you those patches because I know that they never made it to you. So I will resend those patches as soon as I get a re-up, and I'll send you some nice ones. Not that these aren't nice, but I'll send you like ones that you already have, since you already have like all of them. So let me see. Black, we're going for black. So it's Nick Black. We're doing
Hell yeah,
we're doing black today. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Hate the Human Race, for that. Woo. We're gonna be playing for the We Speak English Good patch. And what else? I had another one somewhere. Let's see. And the Mike Berg, which is no, that's stupid. How about the I forgot what these shoes are. This shoe. We're gonna play for these. We're gonna play for black. So stick around. We're gonna be right back, and we're gonna play How Much Does It Cost on Craigslist. Thank you for those claps. All right, guys, give us 1 second, and we will be right back with How Much Does It Cost on Craigslist. Give us 1 second, please. All right, man, just give me 1 second. I'm going to mute you, okay? Okay, we are back. I just had to go set everything up because I completely forgot to do that because I'm awesome like that. I always rush to get everything in and then forget stuff. And like Nick, I should have a schedule and a list and other stuff. So I'm trying to find the song, but it's really upsetting me. So I'm just going to not play that song, I guess. I guess we're playing this song. Okay. No, I'm not. That song is terrible. Okay, we're no song today. All right, here we go, guys. We're coming back with games. I usually have a theme song. Oh, look at that. Look at how cool that looks. All right, well, give me 1 second again. Look, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. I gotta get my life together, folks. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to get this thing together. Sorry, Nick. Give me 1 second, brother. I did not get this ready on time. And so now here we are, live and direct, doing it on stream. I expect there's judgment in the chat, as there should be. Let me see. How is there any judgment? We need a push. let's make the chat pick. What are we picking? Oh, okay. Wait. I'm sorry. Let's bring Nick back. You're back, Nick. Or yeah, there you go. Okay.
I'm back.
Here we are. We're back.
My wife literally asked me in chat whether I wanted veggie curry and rice or veggie chili on a baked potato for dinner.
Ooh.
And they want to. They want to do a poll.
If I knew how to do a poll, I would do one. Maybe my mod
bro.
knows how to do a poll. I don't know.
I think the answer is veggie curry, Lena.
There you go.
I think that's what it is.
Veggie curry sounds pretty good. I ate like a bunch of crap food. Have you ever heard of Bob Evans?
Yes, I've heard of Bob Evans.
I have been eating, like, DoorDash messed up our order the other day, so they sent over 2 orders of the same thing, and I ate both of them. Both orders of the...
You beast.
Oh, dude.
You
delinquent. Yeah, that's the better word. I'm a degenerate is what I am. I'm a degenerate overeater. It was a disgusting display of indulgence and just... It was just gross. Anyways, we're going to play How Much Does It Cost on Craigslist, everybody. The only game that you get to bet on how much things cost that belongs to people that are trying to just get rid of their garbage. So we're going to bid on other people's garbage, and it's whoever is closest to the bid. So we're going to we'll look at the picture, we'll read the description, and then we'll have you guys put what you think that piece of crap item costs. So that's pretty much it. And of course, this is brought to you by our sponsor, ModedStudios.com, where they have all these fully embroidered patches and apparel. ModedStudios.com. Go out and get yourself some. All right, guys, we are going to get into the first thing here, and it is nothing because I'm not over there. Okay. Bison, a quarter of a bison. That's what we're bidding on today, guys. A quarter of a bison. Bison meat.
Am I weighing in on this?
Oh, of course. You get to win. I mean, we're playing for a black patch. Okay? We got a black patch.
A quarter of an entire bison.
Yeah, bison meat, quarter hanging carcass, cut and wrapped. USDA inspected. By the way, I didn't know that you were a vegetarian or a vegan, my bet.
No. I'm cool.
22 pounds. Sorry, everybody overseas, but it's pounds. Mixed steaks, tenderloin, ribeye, New York strip, top sirloin, sirloin tip, 30 pounds roast stew meat flank steak, brisket short ribs, 54 pounds ground. Delivery available, PM, or call with questions.
Wait, bro, this is 100 pounds of meat.
Yeah, this is a quarter of this is a quarter of a bison, like an entire quarter. So they quarter that sumbitch out. So Nick Black, how much does this item cost on Craigslist?
Oh my God, bro. Okay, so it's Craigslist. So somebody's really trying to get rid of it. So I'm thinking $500.
$500. They're really trying to get rid of that. Okay.
I mean, but no. $500. No. I'm
no.
How are you gonna do this to me, man? I didn't know we were doing this.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I know. I'm going 1,500. I was like, that's way under.
Okay, and then just so everybody knows now, if you already wrote something in the chat, you don't get to change it. And once you say your bid, Nick, next time it's final. So. Anything you write,
I'll stick with five. I'll stick with five.
1,500 is okay. No, you didn't know the rules. So if you want to change it to 1,500, you got it. But that was for Nick. Just Nick gets that. So Skeet's like, I'll take the 500 then. Okay. So let's see how much 100 pounds of meat. Oh my God, Mike, come on, Mike. I'm surrounded by technology that I barely know how to work. That's what's happening here. So let's get a drum roll, please. All right. Actual retail price on Craigslist. $1,057. So who got it? 50. So Nick, 1,500 was not a bad bid. That was not a bad bid at all. So let's take a look. Usually my mod gets, so let's read what we got here. Reina got 300. MAA Mark had 200. Saucy had 39,000. Willow had $175. I'm 95% vegan. Oh, well, my apologies. Guesses first, yes. Reina Mystique, 522. 1,500 for Nick. Thank you, Reina. Skeets was 500. And I think and 1,800 for Mighty Mighty. So who got that? I think Nick got that, right? Is that Nick, everybody?
I think I did.
Nick! I don't know if I have to ask, but do you want the black? Do you want the black patch?
Man, hell yeah. I want a patch with my last name on it. Hell yeah.
Okay, it's yours. It's the last one. You know what? That was perfect. This was happenstance right here, everyone. You're seeing it here unfold right now in front of you. All right, let's get to the next item up for bid, and then we'll let our friend go here because he has a stream coming up, and we don't want him to be late. Okay, 18th century white leather Rocco 5-piece set for sale. Beautiful,
Dear God.
beautiful 5-piece Italian Rocco. What is this shit down here? Get out of here! Why are you on here? Get away! No. I can't read it. Okay. Large couch with hidden drawer, 5 beautiful Pisces. Is that? Oh, okay. There it goes. 1 large lion mirror, very rare Pisces. I don't, is that how you spell that? Peace?
No. I think he was saying peace.
I think he's trying to say peace.
Misspelled it, bro.
I know that's not how you spell peace, but is that like some weird Italian thing?
It's a leather Rocco 5 piche.
There you go. It's a piche. Hey! Piche. And 1 living room gold table. Okay. Nick, black music. How much does this item cost on Craigslist?
Okay, so we've got 2 king and queen parlor chairs, 1 large lion mirror. It's very rare. It's a very rare piche.
A very rare piche.
9x9, 1 living room gold table. Oh my God, man. So I'm gonna say $8,001.
Dang, 8,001, Bob. Here we go. Shots fired. All right, guys. Start dropping those bids in the chat. You got until the end of, you got until Sonic dies. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop. 50K. You hate the human race. You know what? Hate the human race. I would think that you would know. Just for some reason, just because Hate, he works with his hands, and everybody go give Hate some love. Hate the human race. He doesn't actually hate. Well, he hates that there's not enough love. But if you go into Hate, give him some love. He creates action figures, and he hand makes them and carves them, and he actually does. He actually makes some of streamers. He actually made one for Wake the Beast, who's another streamer. He's a Twitch partner here, who's like an incredible dude who just sits there and talks to the camera for 4 or 5 hours. And he made this really cool action figure for him and a video. It was really cool. He watched it on video and started crying and shit. It was so touching. Everybody go give Hate some love. Hate likes to talk about this. Hate likes to talk. You just go check out Hate the Human Race. There you go. Okay. So, $8,001, and let's read through these bids and see where we're at. Could you imagine the dinner parties you could have with that set? Yeah. I would be too worried about people spilling shit on it. I'd be like, can you not have the red wine? Like, can you put it on like a coaster, please? Get out. Saucy Chicken Nugget says $100,000. Reina Mystique says $2,597. Willow says $10,000. And Lena says $10,000 as well. Ooh, we might have a showdown here. Mango Bright says $16,780. Skeet says $5,000. Jesse Breakpoint says $25,550. $8,001 for Nick. Mango Bright, what is that? Are you trying to change stuff on me? Is that what you're trying to do? What's going on there? I got you, Mango. I got you. 1,000 for MMA Marks. $50K for Hate the Human Race. Mighty says $10,000. Oh my gosh, you guys are all in there. Is that how much this thing cost? Did you guys Google this? I forgot how much this cost. No, it's okay. It's okay, Mango. I thought you were trying to change stuff, and I was gonna be like, no, Mango. No, you can't change stuff. No. All right, let's get a drum roll and let's figure out who won. Who got this? So. Drum roll, please. You're too kind, Hank. You're too kind. Actual retail price on Craigslist: $8,000. Whoa, bro!
Out in the street, they call it murder.
Oh my God, dude.
There you go, guys. So you were $1. You're $1 away from getting it dead on, which means that you get a bonus prize, but you didn't get that exact. So, Nick, here are your options. I can either send you 2 patches,
Dude.
or you can gift a patch to someone in chat, or you can have it sent to anybody in the world that you want to. And you have the choice between the Willoughby shoes and the shoe. And the
Let me see him again. Let me see him again.
Here, this one's you.
Okay,
The shoe, and I can also offer something. I'm running low. My sponsor's sending me out something, so it's either that or this or the Hillcrest community of San Diego.
I'm gonna take the We Speak English Good.
All right.
And I'm going to actually send it. I'm gonna send it to my dude Conios.
Oh, Conios with the win! Conios, if you want, you can either jump in the Discord and you can DM me there. You can also go on any of my socials, really, and hit me up there. Or you can whisper me directly here on... Oh, I didn't do that right. You can whisper me here and just send me your address, and I'll send that out tomorrow to both of you.
Yeah, Coney is an amazing supporter of my channel and of the band and, you know, my family and everything. So, yeah, dude. Danke schön, Conios. Danke schön.
Conios for the win. I ate mango. How dare you, Saucy Chicken Nugget? How dare you eat mango? Did you get her permission first? All right, Nick. Thank you so much. Let's bring Nick back to the main stage here so we can properly say our goodbyes and wish him well on his continued journey in life and on Twitch and throughout the universe. That's right. All right. Let's bring him back here. Oh, mighty with the 600 biddies.
Mighty, come on in this house. Come on in this house.
Oh, mighty. Oh, you getting a mighty. I know what you like, baby. Thank you guys for those claps. I appreciate it. I almost ate chicken nuggets yesterday. Well, did you get his permission? All right. Nick Black Music, how can people get a hold of you? What do you got coming up next? What's going on? Please tell us.
Well, I'm going to be streaming in about 45, 50 minutes here over on my channel, Nick Black Music. And let's see, the next thing we've got coming up. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/Nick Black Music. All my social handles are Nick Black Music. And we'll be releasing Twitch #1 in March. So be on the lookout for that, guys. Make sure that you are following on social media, and we've got a Discord too. You know, all the stuff that everybody, all the stuff everybody has. But man, Mike, you're a dope human being. You know that, right?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not sure how much I believe it, but I'm starting to. I'm starting to believe that I can have capability of being dope. I'm starting to believe it.
You definitely do. You definitely, and actually, yeah, we're about to hit a follower goal, so we do have a music video coming up pretty soon. It's just a fun thing, but should be fun.
Well, it sounds fun. Who are we rating? Anybody got any good suggestions? I would rate Nick, but he's not streaming for 45 minutes, and I just feel like sitting here for 45 minutes staring at you guys doesn't sound like
What kind of people do you like to raid?
I like music, but I'm down for what I mean. We're just chatting too. So Soul. What about Brightside? What's Brightside doing? Brightside Studio usually has some really. They have. Oh, it's just a drummer. Maybe not today. Brightside. Wander Truly's on. I love my girl Wander. Mike is the dopest dope. Oh, thank you. Hate the Human Race. You're the dopest dope. I will wear a banana suit for free. Oh, good.
That's my wife. Chris Tillers is streaming right now. He's awesome.
Let's do that.
Conios just said something about that.
Cool. We're doing that. I like it.
Sweet, brother.
What kind of music is it? Or they?
He's just an acoustic singer.
Sweet. All right. Let's go listen to some acoustic singer, if I can spell it right. We speak English good. We also write English good too.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Of course. Conios, remember, please do send me or whisper. Oh, I didn't do it. Here, I got to do it first. Please do whisper me your address, or again, you can hit me up on the Discord or on any of my social medias. Just hit me up, and then Nick, you can email me with your address, and I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day. Friday is offbeat, and we're going to have Cypher Deluxe, so please do come with your freshest bars. I will see y'all Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mwah. Be good to your fellow human beings. HJ's for everybody. Let's do it. All right. Nick, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. That was fun.
Yeah, brother.
That was
a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Just send me your Addy, and I'll send that out to you. The actual the audio version of this will come out in a couple of weeks, and I'll send you the audio and the YouTube version, all in a little package and a link, and I'll be releasing that. So there'll be a whole release campaign for that one. So
nice.
There you go. That's about it.
Nice, dude.
I appreciate it, man, and have a wonderful rest of your day, and have a great stream.
Man, I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it, and give my best to Reina, and y'all be good. Let me know if you ever need anything, okay?
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. Likewise.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.